Hi everybody. Better late than never. I'm sorry, I didn't know what time it was. I was talking to somebody out there. So, welcome. And if you're able to join us, we're really happy. Sorry about the switch, we had some stuff come up.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about realigning your thoughts with what your desires and passions are, in case you're not getting what it is you really want, and then not believing in the law of attraction, basically.
And your worthiness of receiving that also comes into play.
Which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Believing that you deserve everything, and we really do. So, we've said it a million times, you see it everywhere. You are what you think.
Yeah.
If you're still having restless thoughts and you're creating stress is only in your mind. Stress is not what's going on out here. It's how you're looking at it.
And how you're receiving it, and how it's conflicting with your thoughts, actually.
Yeah,
right.
And
your beliefs or your desires.
Right. And if you're thinking, when is this going to happen? When is that going to happen? When is this? The only reason that this, that, and this are not happening is because you're not thinking in alignment with feeling that should happen. So I wrote a couple things down so I wouldn't. All right. So for example, you want more time at the beach this summer, let's say, but you're thinking, I never have enough time to get down there. Okay, well, you just defeated everything about getting down there. My thought is, I'm going to make the time, no matter what, to get to the beach, because I'm not going to summer without getting to the beach. So changing that, do you want your bills all paid in full, but you're thinking, I don't have enough money to catch up. You're just completely undermining all of the ability that you have to manifest what you want the outcome of things to be. And you're completely responsible. And I know people don't want to hear this. It's frustrating. But you are completely responsible for every single thing that is happening in your life. Completely. Nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's your thoughts that's going out to this big mush of energy that's molding and creating the physical manifestation in your life.
You weren't taught that way, though, so it's not a lot of times.
I think we were taught a lot of limitations.
That's what I'm saying.
And boundaries,
exactly.
And we really don't. We make our own limitations and boundaries.
Right, but I think they were inherited also, because, how many times did you hear about what the neighbors think, and all the different things.
My
like
mother's famous for that.
Yeah, I get teased about witchery and different things, but I believe this.
You're not a witch.
I know. Well, I'm a good witch. If I am, I am a good witch anyway. So I don't care. But as opposed to, think of it this way: like, why is it that one person can have something and you can't? Why is that? Why do you think that that's even a thing? Because there's worthiness issues, maybe number one, that you inherited or you were taught, and you can have anything. I mean, that's I teach my kids that now, especially my daughter who's now 18, you can be, do, and have anything you desire, anything you want. You can be president of the United States if that is something you desire. I mean,
and if you're feeling hopeless about things, or you're feeling completely unable to change a situation that is completely frustrating you, that's a total out of alignment with getting what you want. So I know it's tough sometimes, but you have to keep a strong feeling that things will work out as they're supposed to work out. And sometimes they just take a little bit longer. I mean, we're living proof of that. And I'm sure in retrospect, if you go back and look at look at all of the situations that have happened over the years in your life that have gone wrong and caused you stress and setbacks over time. Well, look back at them. You got through them, didn't you? There's your proof. There's nothing we can't get through. But the more we're thinking, I can't do this, the more you can't do it. How many times have you gone, I'm going to get the perfect spot at the mall, and the very first closest spot is open?
I always get the first spot.
Come on.
Always.
Yeah.
I always say, my kids would go crazy. I'd be like, must be in the front row, because that's what I believed. And I would always get that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You really just have to keep strong feelings about your purpose and not stray because of bumps in the road. Mm-hmm. The frustration, don't be hard on yourself. Let it go. Let it go. You know, peace is an inner feeling. It's a state of mind. Mm-hmm. It's not in your outer world. It's how you're feeling and how you're looking at things. And listen, I'm speaking from the heart, because if I could stay in peace and focused and aligned with some of the things over the last few years, anybody can do this stuff. Yeah. Anybody can. It's not about changing everything in your life. It's not changing everything you do. It's about realigning your thoughts to be in balance with what you're looking for, what you want to come to you.
And you can control those thoughts. You can control those thoughts through mindfulness, meditation, prayer.
Right.
At
and
minimum.
You can do all those things, and the bottom line is, right, like him saying, you can take walks, you can meditate, you can do, but you know what? You could do all those things, and if your thoughts still aren't aligned, all that peaceful stuff you do isn't going to make a difference, hate to tell you.
But it's a matter of, you know, I did it this morning while I was walking at the farm park. Actually, I was, you know, starting to walk along. I had a lot of things going on again. And so I was listening to actually a YouTube video about mindfulness it was a TED Talk, just listening to it as I was walking today. And it was just, you know, brought me into that alignment, into getting my thoughts together and, you know, just listening to yourself.
That's right.
So that was a big part of it. And she said, and just like we know in meditation or anything else, that you can be in the middle of being peaceful and quiet and everything, and all of a sudden you're like, I gotta do this. This is gonna happen. And then you just mindfully, peacefully, genuinely, and like calmly, forgivingly to yourself, just bring it back. You don't have to be like beating yourself up and shameful about that I can't control my thoughts. It starts with a step, you know, and I do that sometimes when I'm on my walks. I will just start listening to my foot taps on the ground or the birds as they're flying by, just to break that chain of whatever's going on.
When I go to Valley Green, it's the gravel under my feet, you know. Yeah, you can use anything.
Yeah, the water it's, you know, the stream. Look, I mean, just even today, the other thing I was doing is the leaves were so green and the sky was so blue. You just couldn't help. I mean, I couldn't. I just was like walking for a little bit, looking up at it, how beautiful it was in the moment, because you don't have that every day.
Right.
And then you're bringing in gratitude also while you're appreciating that, which is also going to help with the manifestation of your desires also, because you're aligning your thoughts and then you're feeling joyful and you're bringing more of that in.
Right. And a lot of our inability, I'm going to say, to align is that we live in a world that has so much chaos going on. Hatred, bombing, but you know what? Andrew Weil said, stop listening to the news. Stop reading the newspapers. Some people maybe don't want to do that, but you know what? All that turmoil gets recorded in your cells, and it stays with you after you watch it, after you read it, after everything. You're sitting down to dinner to eat dinner, and the news is on, and somebody got shot. I mean, I've said this before. You hold on to that stuff in your cellular memory. It doesn't help with being in a very peaceful and aligned place in your mind. And it's just so important to be able to not be so affected by our outside world. And our world's out of balance, but we don't have to be. And I don't mean the universe is out of balance. Our world is out of balance. The people, the things that are happening. Yes, but the planets are perfectly aligned. I mean, they're staying where they are. Everything moves in the cycles like it's supposed to be. This has nothing to do with global warming, which is a real issue, but we're not talking about that. So I'm going to give you a couple things to think about. One is, what are your thoughts saying? So write down where you'd like to be in a year or 2 years from now, or a week from now. I mean, why put it off? Think about where you'd like to be this summer. Yeah. What are your thoughts saying, and how much aligned are they with those dreams, with those desires? 2, are they aligned with what I want? Really think about how your thoughts and what you want are together. And Giuseppe brought this up. It was kind of interesting. He said, you're saying aligned. Can you change it and say synchronicity today? And I said, well, they're two different things. Being aligned is when everything comes together and works smoothly as one. Synchronicity is when two separate things start to work at the same time. Another word is called entrainment. It's when you have 10 grandfather clocks in a room and they're all ticking at different times, but if you go back in a week, they're all ticking at the same thing. And oddly enough, in my field, I will tell you this, a lot of women in the household will actually wind up on the same cycle because of entrainment and because of the energy becoming synchronistic. It doesn't mean you're like aligned with your mom or your daughter or whatever, but synchronicity is two things happening at the same time in sync with each other. And I know you're not supposed to use the same word in a description of something, but I wasn't really good in English, and I don't care about that right now. Number 3, what do you watch on TV? What are you watching that's programming you? And I don't mean like, look, I love Blue Bloods, I love Criminal Minds, but I love the old shows too, like the really old shows, like, that we used to watch growing up. I mean, I'm 60, I know you're much younger, but I love watching old shows and things and old movies. But if you're watching a lot of media hype and, it's like the news just wants to get you at the end of your seat in the most fearful position you can be. I just think I honestly think it's a way to get everybody scared of everything.
I do too. It's a
control factor.
And social media is also helping with that too. So I'll take Facebook off my phone for a couple of days when I start getting too hype about different things, because it's not real life. Let's face it. It is a way for a lot of us to communicate events that we're doing or different things. But when it comes down to drama and as soon as I start feeling a twinge of, even if I feel jealousy or anything, I know that's not real, first of all, and it's not who I want to be in my life.
Right.
And so I'll turn it off for a few days, because something's pushing me to a place that I don't want to be. And it's not, Facebook in and of itself was supposed to be fun. It was fun, it was entertaining, but when you get into different people's dramas and secret messages and weird stuff, I don't know. I don't need that.
Hi, Barb. And all right, so what do you watch on TV? And then number 4 is, are you listening or surrounding yourself with positive, like-minded people, or are you saturated by negative, doubting Thomases, that kind of stuff.
Not only are they doubting Thomases, they're the kind of people that, or there are people out there that will say, you can't do that. And it's like, I got away from all those people. And it just, that's, again, not how who is anyone to impose a limitation on you? It's one thing they do it on themselves. Same thing with if they're going to judge you.
I get it now, football.
Barb.
Yeah, love it.
You know, if people are going to pass judgment or cause you to have judgment over them, that's a feeling, that's a negative feeling, and you know, whatever they think about you isn't your
Yeah,
we've
told you about that kind of stuff, sure.
But that's stuff that gets into your vibration from different ways, whether it's media or like people in your sphere.
Exactly.
Social media.
Right. So really take a look at what your thoughts are. A lot, and when I was talking earlier about the thoughts like I never have enough time, I don't have enough to catch up. A lot of people go, well, I have too much on my plate. Well, who put that there? Okay. And if you're just constantly saying yes to everyone, who's doing that?
Yeah.
We've already done a whole thing about learning to say no graciously. And, you know, I mean, the main thing is to the thoughts that are not going to allow you to have what you want or be who you are. Not who you want to be, who you are. Living your truest self. I just really think that when you're living your truest self, it's almost like it naturally puts you in alignment.
Yeah.
And you just feel like you're flowing, and life just gets so much easier. Like, I'm in a really good place. I'm busy here, I'm busy at home, I'm busy, but I don't feel overwhelmed. I felt overwhelmed, but the minute I went, okay, like, this is all happening, but I know I'm going to get through it. Like, I've gotten through so many things in my life that, and this too shall pass. I mean, it really...
I had a few things. I was at 3 different charitable events in the last 2 weeks. And I won 7 baskets.
That's it?
Yes.
How lucky.
Right.
And
Well,
7's a spiritual number.
Well, here's what's funny about that. Years ago, I am lucky, first of all. And there was a time that I was winning so often. But first of all, I do a lot of charity. I do a lot of charitable events. And whether they're my own that I'm throwing with my group or, you know, just go to them, that's something I enjoy doing. And so I would win a lot of, you know, different things. And people that I know started making fun of me and caused me to have shame because, or feel shame because I would win and they're like, oh, I don't even want to hear it anymore. You know, well, I like winning. It was fun. And I would get fun stuff and I'm making a donation. So even it was a win-win anyway because I was already helping somebody else. So it didn't even matter.
And everything happens the way it's supposed to.
Right. So, you know, flash forward. And I have done my meditations. I have done my head work over this last year, as you've done also. You know, it's something that I enjoy. And again, it's a win-win. Well, all of a sudden, because I am lucky and because I am manifesting and I am a master manifester at this point as well. And so those are all the things I've been able to work on within myself. And these fun things happen. So like it was for me and my family. It was like Christmas Day the other day because we got them all at the same time. I did a run last week and I won 2 very fun gifts there. And it was just fun. And so point being that there was a time that I shut that off. And I know that happened. I know that I shut it off. And now it's opened back up again. And it's all about how you talk to yourself and how you let other people also affect your thoughts.
Absolutely. And you can't base your beliefs or your feelings on what other people are, because that will definitely throw a wrench into your alignment.
Yeah.
And you just know when you're aligned.
Yeah.
You're happy, things are flowing. It doesn't mean stuff doesn't go to the left or the right. And it may not be 24 hours, 7 days a week. And there are, little setbacks and obstacles. But that's the way to look at them, is as setbacks and obstacles.
Yeah.
So you go, all right, I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to let this stop me. And figure out a new route, figure out a new way to get there.
Yeah. I would also be very careful about words that you're using, such as I've heard people
choose
say,
your words carefully.
Yeah, like about always and never, and those kind of words. That's when I hear it. I can't even give the example I want to give because I don't even want to think it. I don't even want to say it out loud. That's how much I believe, and I feel the same way about the word hate. I don't feel like it's something that should be, when you say it, it doesn't feel good in your body. I don't ever, to me it's like a spell when you're saying it to somebody else. And for those signs, and I've been wanting to say this anyway, so I'm going to. The signs that say,
hate has no home.
Hate has no home here. Okay, you're giving it a home, by the way, if you have that sign. So
I know people that put them on their front yards.
Crazy.
You're driving down a nice street and then you hear hate.
That's the only word you see when you're driving. You don't see love, you only see hate. And
so why don't we make these signs, love lives here,
yes,
instead of hate?
Yeah.
Like,
those are the kind of things that when I say, and when we're talking about being mindful of your words, those are the kinds of things. So if you're telling yourself, whether or not you want to be lucky, whether or not you want to have a relationship, and you're saying, I don't have this kind of, or I don't even know how, you're not like used to somebody treating you so nice or whatever. Okay, well, change that, because you are worthy of having that. And to me, the thoughts and desires also go along with worthiness, because I feel like that's a big part of people's challenges. It was mine,
right.
And so that's my lesson to have learned, and I am worthy because God put us here. He says you're worthy.
That's right.
Even the fact of again, being raised Catholic and going to communion, and you say,
and I wasn't raised that way, and I believe the same way, but
right.
I mean, I learned it in this.
But before you receive communion, they say, Lord, I'm not worthy to receive you. I don't say that anymore. I say, Lord, I am worthy because you tell me that I am. Why am I telling myself this every Sunday?
Right.
That's ridiculous. And I think that's where it came from.
Right.
Because these words are words that you're telling yourself day in and day out, and they're learned behaviors. And again, I think it's control issues. Right?
Definitely. And number 5 is my last one. Is Are you resisting the positive thought by doing the undermining thoughts of I can't, I won't, I don't have, whatever.
Yeah.
Over the next week, and I'd love to hear feedback. Please, we really want to hear feedback.
Yeah.
Today, really think about something that you want, somebody you'd like to hear from, something you'd like to have happen, and really focus and feel, but play it over in your mind, watch it happen. Like, a lot of times people come to me for infertility, and I say to them, see yourself coming home from the hospital with that baby, see yourself coming home, the bedroom finished, and all those kinds of things. Really imagine what it is you want in your mind, and I want you to do it every day. And I would love to hear back. And be realistic, please. Be realistic, and just put it out there. I know, listen, I started something about 7 or 8 years ago, and I'm not going to go into detail, but I started something about 7 or 8 years ago that I was trying to work towards the betterment of some kids somewhere, and I was fought on every level, and there was a lot of cover-up going on, And I walked away just going, one of these days, this is going to happen. And I kept seeing it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I am very happy today to know that it has finally happened. That the people, the powers that be, were actually exposed, and that going forward, these kids in this situation are going to be so much better off.
Yeah.
And I'm just so filled with joy, but look how long it took. But you know what? In my heart, I knew that God was going to make that happen, because God's a good God, and He wasn't going to make kids keep suffering.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to kids, things being covered up.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that.
I
And
was just reading about, I forget who it was, they were kind of a famous couple that had sextuplets, and they were infertile for like 7 years. And
is that a baby for every
right, they had a baby. That's what the article said. Oprah had them on, and blah blah blah. You know, now they're like, I don't know, 8 or so. But the article said that they had a baby for every year that they were, you know, suffering through infertility, and that was like kind of funny. So, and then it said like, be careful what you wish for, which is also the truth.
Yes.
You have to know that
Because you
it's
will,
for the betterment of yourself. Or
because you
whatever.
will get it. Yes.
You'll get it. Mm-hmm.
So think about these things. Be focused on your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
What are they really saying? Are they in alignment with what you want?
And your words.
What are you watching? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Who are you talking to? Who are you listening to? Really be in touch with all these things.
Yep.
So I hope that this came at a good time for everyone.
And I just want to add this too before we finally do quiz. Just Abby's always like, yeah. No, but I do have a few things that I'm actually working on, and I keep remembering a lot of these things, and I'm for certain, you know, sometimes it feels like in the moment your thoughts start going like, how's this going to work out? And like I just keep pulling it back together, and because now
That's
I
right, Tony. Know that it's going.
Yeah, know that.
Great point.
You know, I have witnessed, I've seen it in my life numerous times. I've seen it operate around me, and now to know, you know, and I'll snap myself out of those thoughts that start happening, like, how's that going to happen? No, I know that if I can focus on the desire, sometimes the desires, you got to just formulate what it is that you're actually looking for. But I am such knowledge at this point that they're going to align.
Right.
And all is well.
Right. And I've always been a person like, you get what you want.
Yeah.
You can get what you want, but you have to, you know, put it out there.
And believe.
Those of you that know me for a very long time, Barb, you know, like when I want something, part the waters, babe, nothing's going to get in my way. And that's really the attitude you have to have. You're not setting out to hurt anybody. You can. There's nothing on this earth that you can't have if you set your mind to it.
Yes.
So, with that in mind, we love you so much, and we love that you come and join us. And we truly hope that these messages are helping you, because we definitely know that it has helped us.
Yeah.
And when I and Kim get passionate about something, we just want to spread it all over the place, and we want everybody to really benefit from all the wonderful things that you can have in life. No matter what's going on outside of you, you can have it all right here. So we love you, and thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Happy summer.
See ya.